My presentation is on Amazon.com and why I'd like to work there. So we'll go ahead and get started. So some basic information about Amazon is founded in 1994 by Jeff Bezos, who's the current CEO. They originally started out as an online book retailer, and since that time they've expanded into many other areas. Just a few of those, they've expanded their e-commerce operations. So today on Amazon.com you can buy just about anything. They've also expanded into cloud services, home automation, home consumer technology products like their Kindle book readers. And then they've also expanded their brick and mortar locations, so now you can order something on Amazon and pick it up at a locker. And they've also invested in the grocery store industry as well. They're also currently searching for a second headquarters. You may have seen that in the news lately. There's a lot of different cities that are competing to be chosen as the host for that, and Cincinnati is actually one of the cities that is competing to have Amazon put our second headquarters here, which would be really exciting if that happens for the city. So some basic location and contact information about Amazon. So their current headquarters is in Seattle, Washington, and then I also have here listed their corporate switchboard phone number, their corporate email address, and then their stock symbol is Amazon.com, which is listed on NASDAQ. And then Amazon.com is their main website, and of course that's also where you go if you want to do any type of shopping. They also, on Amazon.com, if you look down towards the bottom of their website page, they have lots of different links where you can see job postings, benefit information, just about anything Amazon related, you can find it on their website. So their current corporate leadership, as I mentioned before, the founder, Jeff Bezos, he's also the current CEO. I also have listed here all the different board members, so they have a very large board member list, very diverse from lots of different backgrounds. And then someone else who's kind of interesting to point out is this Andrew Jassy, the current CEO of Amazon Web Services. So that's the one area where Amazon's seen a lot of growth recently, and actually where they started to compete directly with companies like Microsoft and Google in the cloud storage space. So they currently host, I believe, Facebook. Their entire Facebook infrastructure is hosted on servers that are run by Amazon. So next few slides I'm going to go through just kind of give you some examples of Amazon and their growth, and that's one of the reasons why I find this company so appealing and attractive, is just how expansive the company is and how they continue to grow. And as right now, it doesn't seem like there's any slowing Amazon down. So this map kind of shows you just Amazon's whole logistics network here in the United States. So as you can see, any of these states here that actually have some coloring on it that are not great, Amazon has some type of presence in this state to help with their shipping and logistics. So as you can see, California and Texas are their largest two. They've each of these states have over 20 facilities. Kentucky actually is another one here, and right across the river in Hebron, and they continue to expand the airport that they own down there to increase their logistics and the ability to get you stuff on Amazon faster. This here shows you their headcount growth since 2008 up to 2015. So again, if you're looking for a job, one of the things that's always, I think, attractive is seeing a company that continues to add employees to their company, to their payroll. It means that they're continuing to hire and they're willing to hire more staff. So you can see here in 2008 they had under 20,000 employees worldwide, and that skyrocketed to over 222,000 employees in 2015, and that number continues to grow today in 2017. Then revenue, just looking at that number alone, you feel like Amazon as a company, if you get on there, they have revenue consistently coming in, so it appears to be a very stable company to work for. So back in the early days of Amazon, they were not even pulling in over $1 billion in revenue, and right around 2008, 2009 is when they really started to trend upward a lot faster, to where in 2015 they were pulling in over $100 billion in revenue, which is just stunning. So social media presence. So another thing I really like about Amazon is they're not afraid to interact with their customers. So you find some retailers and websites and things that are that are not as engaged in their customer. And Amazon, the complete opposite of that. They want you to reach out to them and talk to them if you have any issues or problems. On Facebook, they have over 28 million likes on their official page. Their Twitter feed, they have 2.7 million followers. They also have 1.1 million followers on Instagram. And what I also think is important to mention, that's just on the main Amazon page for each of these different social media sites. So underneath that, they have lots of other Facebook pages dedicated to like Amazon groceries and gaming on Amazon. I mean, just all different types of categories just because of how expansive their company is. So, if there's something in particular or a particular area about Amazon that you like, most likely there's a social media page or post or something, or a blog you can go and follow to stay updated within that specific thing of Amazon. What I also think is interesting, Amazon acquired Twitch, which is a video game streaming service, and that allows people to log in and watch other people play games, which is kind of silly to me, but Amazon is clearly thinking ahead. Twitch currently has over 14 million viewers on a daily basis, so they see that as a huge untapped market that other traditional companies, technology companies out there were ignoring, and Amazon jumped down on it. So just very interesting. They clearly see there's a market there, and there's a way for them to generate revenue off of that. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that Twitch acquisition. So along those lines, with acquisitions, one of the reasons Amazon continues to grow is they continue to invest in other companies and also purchase other companies. So acquisitions is one way that they've done this. So I mentioned Twitch previously. So they actually paid $970 million for Twitch back in 2014. And most recently, which you may have seen in the news, they purchased Whole Foods, which is a grocery store chain, for $13.7 billion, which is just insane. Who would have thought way back in the mid-90s that an online bookseller would end up purchasing and owning Whole Foods? And one of the interesting things that they've done with that purchase is, if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can go to Whole Foods and you can actually get a discount on your groceries if you're an Amazon Prime member. So it's a way to reach out to a customer base of Whole Foods shoppers who tend to be loyal to that store and get those people hooked into the Amazon Prime subscription plan. So it encourages people to buy their groceries now through Amazon, as well as their any other needs that they might have online through their website. So just really, really smart to expand their market that way. And it's another reason why I really like Amazon. They just seem to not be afraid to invest in things, even if it's somewhat out of their traditional wheelhouse, so to speak. And again, with the acquisitions, this is what is called kind of the Bezos empire. So you can see here just all the various companies that he's either acquired with his Amazon revenue, or companies that they've invested in. So any of the companies here in a green circle are ones that Amazon now owns outright. So Twitch, as I mentioned before, Whole Foods, Audible.com is another company that they purchased. So Audible is a huge online audio podcast website where you can get books, audiobooks. Download those digitally. They also have lots of investments in things like Twitter, Business Insider, which is an online news source. One of the another appealing thing about working at Amazon is their benefits package that they give to their corporate employees. So as you can see here, they offer full health, vision, and dental benefits. They also offer 4 separate plans. So what I like about that is it just gives a lot more flexibility. Some of the employers I've worked for before only offer one health plan, which makes it somewhat difficult because not every family is the same. So you end up being forced to choose, it's take it or leave it. So I like that Amazon recognizes that there's not a one-size-fits-all plan for their employees. They also offer a 401k plan with a company match. So that means if you invest in the 401k program, they will match up to a certain percentage of that as well. So it's essentially free money for you for working there and choosing to invest in the company. They also offer life and accidental insurance for employees and their families, which is pretty standard, but Amazon does have some pretty good coverage benefits there. So if you have an unfortunate death in the family, That's another benefit that they provide. They also offer HSA and FSA accounts, which is again just more of a health insurance benefit, so you can set aside a little bit of your money into what they call a health savings account, and that's tax-free, and you can use that for qualified medical expenses throughout the year, which is kind of nice. They also offer an employee assistance program, which is somewhat standard in most corporate companies today. But again, it's just a nice feature. It provides a lot of free assistance, things like counseling, legal advice, if you need financial advice. So it's somewhat of a kind of a wellness program, but things outside of what you consider traditional health benefits. Something else that I found really, really fascinating and interesting about Amazon is, some companies offer child assistance, and a few also offer elder care. But Amazon even offers pet assistance. So if you don't have any children or any older family members that you're taking care of, if you're in a situation where you're struggling to take care of your pet or you need assistance there, Amazon actually has programs for their employees to take care of that, which is just it's awesome that they're willing to go the extra mile for their employee. It's also really cool. They also offer adoption expense reimbursement, which is awesome. Some of the more benefits that Amazon offers, which is one that I served in the military, and when we had our first son, I got 5 days off, and that was it. At my current position, I get 0 days off. I have to use my own vacation time. So at Amazon, as long as you've been there for a year, you will automatically receive 6 paid weeks of paternal leave, that's unheard of in a lot of companies today. They also offer additional flexible scheduling options for mothers to recuperate. And if you happen to work at Amazon and your spouse does as well, they will work with you to schedule your work around childcare and kind of that recovery process after pregnancy, which is really, really cool. They also offer just flexible scheduling options for jobs where it's appropriate. So it means a lot of virtual work, and depending on the type of work you do, you don't necessarily have to work what you would consider a traditional 9-to-5 job. They also offer paid time off that accrues over time, and 6 paid holidays annually, which is the 6 paid holidays annually is kind of a standard offering for most corporate jobs nowadays. But again, it's just nice that they have a paid time off program. They also offer an impressive 4 weeks of paid prepartum leave. So that's actually leave you would take before the birth actually happens, which I can't think of another company that offers that. So it's just, it's great to see that they recognize the importance of needing time off, right before and then also after, you bring a new child into a family. And then they also offer up to 10 weeks of paid maternity leave, which is, again, it's just wonderful that they're willing to support their employees that way. Okay, and the next slide here just goes into salary a little bit. So as you can see here, this chart shows you some of the major technology companies in the world. We've got Amazon, of course, Apple, Dell, Facebook, Google, Hewlett-Packard, IBM, Intel, and Microsoft. So Amazon does not by any means have the highest median salary that's offered, but they're in the top 2. So on this chart here, Google they're at 23% above the industry average, but Amazon is close behind at 17%. So your starting median pay at Amazon is roughly $72,000, and your mid-career median pay, which is after you've been at the company about 10 years, is on average it's about $110,000, which is again just a really, really good starting income at $72,000, and the fact that you can grow, on average from $72,000 up over $110,000 a year in salary. Again, it just shows that there's a lot of growth opportunities within Amazon, and that your pay will continue to rise at a really good level if you stay with the company. And as I mentioned earlier, with one of the benefits of Amazon is 401k, so that means you actually get paid Amazon stock. So that's really, really cool, because if you look at Amazon's stock trend over the past several years, it's continued over time to grow. So this chart is back from the 2017 in April. As you can see here, their stock right now has roughly a 312% increase since that the company stock was traded. So again, just a great company in terms of their stock price, and it just continues to go up. I thought this was also really interesting. It's another reason why I find Amazon an attractive company to work for. So Blue Origin is a company started by Jeff Bezos, and again, so that's where we have our Amazon tie in there. It's actually a space exploration and tourism company. So it's actually flown 2 rockets into space since 2016, and they're actually, what's unique about those is they're reusable rockets, so they've actually come back down to Earth, and he's shot them back up in the air into space again, and it's recovered those. And they actually plan to start offering the first space tourism flights within the next 18 months. So realistically, if they continue their pace now, in about a year and a half from now, you'd be able to book a ticket to space, just like anyone else would. Of course, no word on how much they expect that to cost. And I mentioned earlier Amazon Cloud Services. So this was another area where Amazon had some good foresight to invest in this sector well before other companies started to take it seriously, and they actually caught your more traditional companies like Microsoft and Google off guard. So as you can see, this chart here shows you where existing market share is on our horizontal, and then our vertical shows you the annual growth. So their growth has been steady, not declining, but you can see here Microsoft has had the most rapid growth, but overall market share, Amazon is still a leader in this field with over 30% market share. So again, it just makes me feel like Amazon's a good company to work for, because they just always seem to be ahead of trends, and they know where to make the right investments to ensure their future growth. So one other slide I thought was really interesting, and many of you might be familiar with, is their smart home speakers. So they have various different names on it, but it all uses their Alexa, which I just activated my own speaker here. But it's their smart AI assistant. It competes with things like Hello Google and Siri, and then Microsoft's Cortana. But just another area where analysts are expecting just explosive growth. So by 2020, they expect their virtual assistant to bring in an expected $11 billion. And then $4 billion of that is expected just from the sale of their own speakers. And then they also estimate that roughly 41.3 million devices will be in user homes by 2020. So clearly this is just a company that has no boundary. They just want to continue to be aggressive in their growth. Which makes me really excited, and it just seems like a company that the technologies that they invest in are things that appeal to me and I find interesting, and I think it would be really exciting to be kind of on the ground floor of that technology and that advancement. So with that, I have my works cited page as well, which you can reference with the presentation. The PowerPoint presentation I post online as well. But thanks for your time and watching this, and I look forward to any and appreciate all feedback. Thanks.